Hello, hello. I'm here again. Another INFJ ramble. Wanted to talk about indecision and how to deal with that effectively. So, I think INFJs are prone to being addicted to our thoughts and addicted to overthinking and addicted to just a lot of I guess, overly stimulating the cerebral aspect of ourselves. And I know I did it for most of my life, and it's exhausting. We don't realize that you can burn an excessive amount of energy, not only physically, but emotionally and mentally. And I think, because, well, first of all, we have to be aware that we have an issue, and then we can take proactive measures to remedy that, you know? So, for instance, whenever you wake up and you're faced with all these different possibilities and choices, I think we have a tendency to become indecisive, because there's just so many options available and we don't know, like, well, actually, we have expectations and we want a desired outcome. And so we overthink, we become indecisive, and then we become mentally and emotionally drained. Yeah, so we need to be aware of these habits and these addictions and these tendencies so that we can correct them. Um, okay, so how do you deal with indecisiveness effectively? Let's see. Instead of overthinking, instead of um, overwhelming yourself with a plethora of options, just kind of look at a situation and just take an action. Take an action. And I think a lot of our decisions are motivated by the amount of, um, I guess, how do I say this? Our decisions are motivated by predominantly fear. You know what I mean? We're afraid. We're afraid of the outcome. We're afraid of it not meeting our expectations. We are afraid of all these different things, right? Take the fear out of the equation, make a decision, and then deal with it. That is my answer to dealing with indecision effectively. Because either way, you know what I mean? You're going to do something and it's either going to turn out fantastic or it's going to turn out horrible. But either way, you know what I mean? You are going to win. You know why? Because in every failure, in every mistake, you can find another way that doesn't work. You know what I mean? And then next time you're faced with a similar situation or circumstance, you know, that choice will automatically eliminate itself, and then you'll have other, options and decisions to choose from, and then you just go with it. You know what I mean? And that's how we learn, right? Through experimentation, through trial and error. But when you kind of sit in place and you overthink and you overstress and you overstrain, not only are you wasting a lot of mental energy, you're stressing yourself out, you're tensing yourself, and it's creating a lot of blockage and a lot of dis-ease. Dis-ease. Yeah. So, yeah, it's so funny. I was thinking on it because I know I used to be really indecisive. I used to doubt myself. I used to doubt, like, the next step that I should take. And I would, spend a lot of time overthinking, over analyzing, asking everyone else around me what they thought. And, that's cool to ask people what they think if you need that kind of support. But ultimately, it's your decision, it's your choice, and you have to deal with the repercussions. And if you're always afraid to make mistakes or afraid to do something wrong, then that's just gonna kind of hold you in place, and then you're never gonna learn. You're never gonna learn, like, what works, what doesn't work, and things like that. I have no idea if I'm making sense, but I guess the whole point is we expend so much energy stressing and tensing and straining because we're afraid of making mistakes when mistakes are actually a essential part of life so that we can like know different ways that don't work so that we can actually eliminate ways that don't work and we can implement ways that do. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. And yeah, so I kind of wanted to like sit with this topic because, like I said, I used to be horrible at making decisions. I'd always like almost like be in a state of paralysis trying to make a decision, and it's not that hard. And once I kind of like just started like allowing myself to, make mistakes and be okay with that, things just flow like so much more smoothly. And now that, I allow myself to have the room to make mistakes and to accept my mistakes graciously instead of condemning myself, you know, like I said, like I go through life with less stress, less tension, and usually like I don't really have to think too hard and things fall into place um, effortlessly. And ever since I've been proactively practicing that, I feel happier, I feel more peaceful. And it's interesting because now I notice the people around me who are highly indecisive, and I can see like the effects that it has on them. And they'll just kind of like go back and forth with an idea, and they'll be stressing out, and they'll be stuck in like a fear-based frame of mind. And I'll just tell them, like, dude, just make it, just choose. And if anything, if you have a hard time choosing, it's because the brain is overstimulated, and you probably have to just kind of step back, breathe, calm yourself, and then you can see things more clearly. Like the way will be clear to you instead of muddled and muddied. You know what I mean? When your brain is overstimulated, there's just so much going on, and it's really hard to really think clearly. So in that particular state, you just kind of like step back from this distortion and just kind of breathe. Calm yourself down, and the next thing you know, everything will kind of slow down and the right answer appears, and the right choice yeah, just kind of like appears effortlessly. I think when you try too hard, that's when like it gets really confusing. You know what I mean? Either way, it's gonna be okay. I mean, you just gotta think about that. Either way, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, so that's that. I hope you learned something. If you did, that's great. If you didn't, that's great too. I hope you are having a beautiful, beautiful day. Blessings to one and all. Amen.